What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Crop Pixel. My name is Abe and I want to show you how to check the version of your lens in your camera's firmware, as well as how to update it if you need to update it because it's not on the latest update. So let's go ahead and switch over to the camera and I'll show you how to do that. Okay guys, and so now you can see the camera here on your screen, and the little menu and display button right here on the right side is what you're going to click to go to your settings. It's pretty much the same on all Lumix cameras. And then within the wrench icon and the wrench again in that sub menu, so this one right here that's now highlighted in yellow, if you go over here to firmware version, click your menu and set display button again, and you will see that our body is on firmware version 2.0 and our lens is on version 1.1. So if we go back over to the website, we can see if we have the latest version or not. Okay, so back on Panasonic's website, we're clicking the full frame system camera / lens because we are indeed on the S5 Mark II X. And so if we go here, we can find the S5 Mark II X, and we can see it's version 2.6 where we were on version 2. And then if we go down to their lenses, we can also look for our lens and see what version it's on. We are on version 1.1 of our lens, but we can see our lens is on version 2.0, and you can figure out what your lens model number, if it's Panasonic, by looking at the bottom of the lens. Right here on the bottom, there's a number. And ours, it says Panasonic S-R2 2060, just like the one we have highlighted. So go ahead and click download on both of the files that are related to your camera. You know, it could be your Micro Four Thirds or your compact or whatever. Get those downloaded, and then once you're downloaded, we need to uncompress them or unzip them and then put them on an SD card and plug that SD card into the camera. So let me show you how to do that now. Okay guys, and here are those two files downloaded. If we right click on them, we can click extract all, and you don't need to change this location. You can click extract, and that file will be right here. And I'm going to close that, and I'm going to right click on the other one, click extract all, and extract it again to the same location, and that is right here. So now we need to take these two files and put them on our SD card. So for the next step after we've decompressed, we can see here that when we plug in USB Type-C for our camera, there will be options on your screen of your camera. It won't show this at the same time on the video as it connects to the computer, but go ahead and click the PC storage device. And then when we open up both of our windows, the left one being our file that we decompressed and the right one being the camera through the Type-C connection through that mass storage device, we can take this file and drag it over onto the camera, and then we will have access to actually do the install on the camera itself. So I'm going to go ahead and move both files over. The .bin file is the file for the camera itself, and this .plf file is for the lens. And so those got moved over just like that. So let's get to actually installing the new firmware on our camera. Okay guys, and so now we're back on the camera, and remember those files are now on here. If we go down to firmware version and click OK, so again, the menu settings, the wrench, and then the next wrench down, click firmware update at the top, and then we will see we are here. So firmware version going to 2.6, start the upgrade. We will click yes, and it's going to start this update for us right now. And you're losing connection. We're just getting that black screen to our capture card because it's doing the update, but it says firmware update in progress. Do not operate any of the buttons on the camera. And it looks just like that when it focuses in. So I'll actually switch to here, and we can see just like that it is updating. And so we're going to do this for the firmware as well as do this for the lens itself if it didn't already grab it automatically. Okay, and so for the next step, it is going to check the versions to the files that we have on the card. So we're going to click the firmware update button again. And now when it's doing the checks, it can see that now it's defaulted to the lens and no longer the camera, because it can see that the camera is to the same version as what's on the SD card. And so now we can just upgrade the lens the exact same way and click start update yes, and it's going to go through and do that update for us. And just like before, there it is, the exact same screen, but now it's updating the camera lens firmware instead of the camera. So that's really it for this video. I hope you guys learned something, and now you can go and find the update for your Lumix camera or your Panasonic camera, if that's what you want to call it, as well as, you know, the correct files for your device so you can get the best performance out of your cameras. Thank you for watching. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.